What up, comic book fans, fantasy fans, manga fans, literary fiction fans? I'm Shay from the channel Zachary Shay, and today I'm going to bring you a review of what is, in my opinion, the best run of Marvel's first family, and that is the Fantastic Four by Jonathan Hickman. And here is Omnibus Volume 2, which I think is a better representation of what you're getting in this series. Kind of matches the vibe of it more. But so, what is the Hickman run, and why do I think it's one of the best the Fantastic Four has ever had, and why I think you should read it if you're into that kind of thing. Um, Now, I will start this out by saying that this is not what I expected it to be. I expected a classical found family type of story, and you have to realize when Hickman got around to these characters, they had been an integral part of Marvel for decades. So he had to do something fresh with it. And what I think this series does very well is the way it portrays Reed Richards as a character, and some of the weight that um otherworldly level of intelligence can have on someone, and the way he tries to juggle, like, if he is the smartest man on the planet, doesn't he owe it to humanity to spend every waking moment trying to make the world a better place? But at the same time, what's more important, being the smartest man on the planet, or being the husband of Susan Storm Richards, and the father of Franklin and Valeria? And that brings me to the best part of Hickman's Fantastic Four run, and that is the characters of Franklin Richards and Valeria Richards. Now, what you get with these two characters is you get the most powerful human entity within the Marvel Universe. I mean, there's a lot of status quo changes in the Marvel Comics universe, so I don't know how accurate that is, but I'm just saying, for the purpose of the character and the story, Franklin Richards is what would happen if you took a character beyond godlike. I'm talking reality warping levels of power, and put that in a young child. And but I just think Franklin is he's such a normal kid, and he's so exceptional at the same time. um he was brought up in a loving family. Him and Valeria's relationship is the highlight of this series, but there's so many good relationships in this series. Ben Grimm and Johnny Storm, Reed Richards and Susan Storm, Reed Richards and Ben Grimm, um, Franklin, Valeria and Doctor Doom, Franklin and future Franklin. There are so many layers, and what this series does so well is the way it's able to tell a big grandiose story, but still in quiet moments. I'm talking, if you are reading this quickly, you will miss them, but you can miss these very poignant moments between Ben Grimm and Johnny Storm, between Ben Grimm and Reed Richards. I will say I would have liked a little bit more Sue Storm interacting with the other members of the Fantastic Four, but when she is on the screen, Jonathan Hickman gives her a ton of respect because she is the strongest member of the Fantastic Four. No ifs, ands, buts about it. Susan Storm is incredibly powerful. Now, I mentioned Franklin. Valeria Richards is absolutely phenomenally written. If you thought Tony Stark was the smartest character in Marvel, might I introduce you to Valeria Richards? Her relationship with her brother, with Bentley, who is like the clone of that one villain. I forget his name, but and then Bentley had some amazing arcs too. There's so many nuanced things that are explored in this, and he also lays the foundation for a lot of stuff that would come in Secret Wars. Um, the way he handles the Kree Empire, the Inhumans, these are things that have had lasting effects since his run on Fantastic Four, and Hickman does this thing where he will tell a story about Marvel's first family, but he's also telling a story about the Avengers, about Spider-Man, about Black Bolt. Um, and yeah, I definitely think if you want to get into, the Fantastic Four and you maybe don't know where to start, try the Hickman run. It is collected in these two omnibuses, and you can also collect them in trades. It starts with Fantastic Four Dark Reign, and that brings me to, I'm going to give you the setup of what is this run about, aside from being about the familial aspects of Fantastic Four and Franklin and Valeria being highlights of the series. So the series begins when the Fantastic Four are hopping from universe to universe. This little machine is making them go through different universes, and you get some funny scenes where there's like a medieval universe that the Fantastic Four are in, like Captain America is like a knight in armor, and same with Iron Man. And I was kind of comedic, and I was really vibing with the series. It gave me extreme Rick and Morty vibes. But then the other plot line, while Susan Storm and Johnny and Ben are going through this, you see Reed Richards as he joins the Council of Reeds, which these are a council of Reed Richards from the various different alternate universes that have kind of sworn off their families. And what I mentioned earlier about Reed Richards and the weight of that responsibility versus the responsibility to his family, the responsibility of humanity to the responsibility of those he holds dear. And these are Reeds that chose, in my opinion, what was wrong. They chose the fate of humanity, constantly strived towards saving the world, saving humanity, doing the best possible thing, and every ounce of their time was spent towards bettering humanity, and in the process they lost their humanity. And Dark Reign comes to an end where Reed is like, he has that decision to choose to be his family and to cut himself off from the Council of Reeds. And instead, he keeps that portal open, and that's where the series really begins. And it's not to say like he chose the Reeds over his family. This is a decision he'll have to come back to, but that's really where the series starts. And it's just really good. In fact, I will say the first omnibus of this series, I was not vibing with it. Not vibing with it. I would have given it like a 3 out of 5 stars, but it wasn't what everyone built it up to be. And then in that second omnibus, the way he is able to deliver on so much setup. I just thought these were a bunch of one-off stories in the first omnibus. Like the Fantastic Four is going on a great adventure, and they're one-off, they're episodic. They're not episodic. They all tie in very well in the second half. And I believe the way that all these stories ties in is in a way that highlights the importance of each character's arc. Except I will admit, I do think Sue Storm needed more of an arc. um, I thought Johnny got his. I thought Ben got his. Reed definitely got his, and the kids for sure got theirs. Valeria, to me, was. I feel like Franklin is what it was Hickman's favorite character. Valeria was my favorite character. She's 3 years old and she's outsmarting Reed Richards. I mean, she was just a G. And okay, so my rating for this series is, I would give Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four a 4.5 out of 5 stars for a cohesive run. There were definitely some things I would fix. Like, I thought that a little bit more time could have been spent on the Victor Von Doom stuff, and I thought a little bit more focus on Susan Storm. But you could tell that Hickman is not, he does have good character moments, but he's not a character first writer. He's a big event writer. So what Jonathan Hickman does is he's an ideas guy. He has awesome ideas. He has these massive scope stories, but in the process, I do think he lost a little bit of character, and that's why I cannot give him above that 4.5 stars. If I were to equate it to like comic book ratings out of 10, I'd say, man, I might even go as low as an 8 out of 10. So like a 4 stars, 8 or 9 out of 10. We'll say 8.5. So I give this series an 8.5. Now, with that out of the way, I want to have a little spoiler section where I talk about some special highlights of this book that really, really impacted me and put it, in a league above some of the other Marvel comics I've read. So I thought the first thing that really hit me in this run, aside from Dark Reign, which I really enjoyed, but then after that, I kind of started falling out of love with this. Um, I liked that Rick and Morty little type of universe hopping, and I also really liked Reed Richards' battle with himself. And I was hoping for more of that, and then we started getting some episodic stuff. But what we were doing is we were setting up the Future Foundation. I hadn't realized that at the time. The first thing that hit me hard was when the Future Foundation wanted to cure Ben Grimm's, his body and turn him human for a day. And when they did that, and then Ben Grimm was without his powers, and Johnny Storm had to make that sacrifice in the Annihilation Realm, in the Negative Zone, I thought that was so powerful. And the fallout of Johnny Storm's sacrifice, I know we all know that Johnny wasn't going to be dead forever. It's come on, no one thought he was going to be dead forever, even when this was releasing. But I do like how Hickman took the time to show how Johnny's death was affecting Ben Grimm, how it was affecting Reed Richards, how it was affecting his nephew, Franklin Richards, how it was affecting Valeria. Again, though, unless I'm misremembering things, I would have liked a little bit more on how Susan Storm was affected by the death of her little brother. Again, I think that was Hickman's one fault, is he needed a little bit more time with Sue. So then we get, after Omnibus 1 is when we get into this gem. There were so many amazing moments. Some highlights for me were Franklin Richards to me, my Galactus. That was absolutely badass. That was just amazing, and there was so much setup for it. That way, when it happened, it felt earned. And I just love the whole relationship between future Franklin and present day Franklin. And I also like the little back and forth between future Valeria and present day Valeria, because Valeria was never going to be the person that got along with Valeria, because Valeria needs to be the smartest person in the room. So two Valerias in a room ain't going to go well. But I love both versions of the character. Um, so we got To Me, My Galactus, and then when Johnny returned from the Negative Zone, that was amazing. I liked his whole little arc in the Negative Zone, and when he came through the portal, I was fist pumping. I was so excited. And then, but the one of the real highlights of the end of this run, surprisingly to me, was the character of Bentley, and how he's this mischievous little scamp of a kid throughout the whole series. He's one of the Genius's clones, and his father slash person he was cloned from is this mad scientist who thinks that Bentley is nothing but a weapon, a clone, a child of his that he can do with what he wants. And what Hickman does with the character of Bentley is show a really good examination of nurture versus nature. And I think Reed Richards won in that. He knew that with the right nurturing, with the right support, and with a group of children like the Future Foundation, that were only, no matter how rude or mischievous or immature Bentley got, the kids never made him feel like an outsider. They never made anyone feel like an outsider. I thought the Future Foundation was such an amazing example of um, how diversity can breed acceptance, and how that acceptance can breed just in overall compassion. And I thought the Future Foundation was really well done. I love the character of Bentley, and I do think that the closing issue with Franklin Richards and his him having to say goodbye to his child self was really, really good. Oh, another thing, can't forget this. The issue where Reed sees Ben Grimm age over the course of millennia was heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking. And the way that issue ended with him sitting on the couch with Ben, great stuff. Also, Johnny Storm and Peter Parker as roommates, absolute blast. Loved that, especially the ending with the nihilist on the toilet. I just thought that was great. I loved seeing Johnny throw a rager, Peter thinking, "Oh, do I really want to kick him out?" and then him seeing that and going, "Nope, you're out." So yeah, that's my comic book review. Let me know what comics you want me to review, whether they're Marvel, DC. I think next I want to do either Hellboy or some Daredevil Frank Miller reviews. So just let me know um, if that's something you're interested in, or if you want to see some indie comics, if you want to see Dark Horse, DC. Let me know down in the comment section. Down in the comment section. Peace.